Good morning, this is Brad Gilbert and welcome to the morning update, Thursday the 29th of August. Okay, it's another interesting evening last night with the Syrian crisis sort of taking out most of the airwaves, and we've seen some pretty good moves in the currencies, if not technically based, but the whole US dollar sort of strength, safe haven scenario sort of playing into our hands quite nicely. One of the first ones, obviously, sterling broke through that key support level at 155.60. This was sort of further helped with the sort of slightly dovish comments from Bank of England Governor Carney, who was speaking yesterday. He did come out and say that they aren't going to be afraid to sort of cut rates further even if the unemployment rate gets to 7%. Then at the same time, he did say straight afterwards, that they wouldn't hesitate to raise interest rates if the economy showed that they needed to. So we've got sterling here at the moment sort of behaving very well technically. So we've got some sort of new sort of resistance lines here. It's got a new high on the top side. If I can just grab that top level. So this is creates some very good trading opportunities. Resistance now coming out in at 155 sort of 37, and that gives us something to focus on. The euro as well is showing a sign of life. It's finally dropped through the support line there at 133.40. And coming back to retrace very nicely here at the moment. So the next upcoming data will be key to work out whether the euro sort of spikes back through that resistance level or keeps heading down lower. Now on the crosses here, we've got Aussie dollar. We've got the capex data out today, which is a key industry sort of number, investment money going into the economy. It's a bit of a sign of good times. You usually see the capex data coming in strong, which means there's a lot of investment, a lot of positive sentiment. This goes a long way to sort of further pushing some other data, consumer sentiment, and those sort of things along further down the track. It's a good leading indication of what's going on in the economy. So at the same time, we do have the Aussie dollar, which hit another low last night on the back of the US dollar strength. We've got the support level, weak support down here at 88.90. And it's sort of tracking close around 89.5 at the moment, with a pretty sort of weak, pretty steep resistance level coming around 90 to figure. So that's the sort of main focus there. If anything, the Aussie the crosses themselves are creating some good opportunities here. I've got let me just get the yen up. We've got a good level here to focus on the top side, 87.85 on the cross. We had a great clean out yesterday. On Aussie yen, it sort of followed the move down in dollar yen. It's now coming back to retrace this level. The capex data should give us a very good clue. If we get some strong data, then we may see another move back through this. Any further weakness in the Aussie, and it loves the downside, it'll come off quite aggressively. So that's something to sort of keep an eye on as well as the Asian session sort of continues. Now, just as I was mentioning, the focus in Asia today will pretty much be the Australian capex numbers. We do have some data out of Japan. We've got some retail sales data coming out. It's very light on. The Japanese economy hasn't shown much sign of life in the last 20 years, let alone recently. So we're not sort of expecting too much here. For those people out there who are looking at it, the sort of key number here on Reuters is 0.6%. That's a lot variant to the retail platforms that where you get your calendar, which I think we're sort of setting a number around the flat level, 0. But more importantly, we've got some tonight. I've got the US preliminary GDP numbers coming out. This is anything to do with the GDP is a pretty decent focal point. The one thing to note is this is the second GDP number. We had the advance last week. The preliminary numbers is the second in the run of 3 numbers, with the final coming next week. Once again, if there's any significant variance here in this number, it will impact the currencies. What you do have to consider, though, is the fact that the US dollar is going through a bit of a strength process with the Syrian sort of fallout. And actually, as you look at the Syrian crisis, one thing to sort of really focus on is it's about the Suez Canal. And what's all that about? It's about the oil. So if we come back over here and really look for some focus on the on what's going on in oil at the moment, we get a very clear backdrop of what's the best currencies, correlating currencies to trade on the oil, just as the charts come up. We've got, it's been quite interesting actually. So the Canadian dollar, you would expect with the move up here in oil, the CAD to strengthen, the dollar to come off aggressively. But what we have is a situation where you've got US dollar sort of safe haven buying, sort of offsetting the appreciation or the expected drop in the dollar against the CAD just from the oil trade. What you can see is, oil obviously spiking higher, drifting lower. It sort of almost more mimics a lot more the Euro CAD. What's going on there? The one of the biggest sort of correlating factors with oil is CAD yen. You can see it is hasn't really responded at all to the recent sort of the Syrian sort of crisis with regards to the changing price of oil. So if you are basically looking at oil prices, I'd stick the Euro CAD as the main currency to sort of trade on the back of that. All right, so that's pretty much the wrap up for today. I don't expect a lot of activity in Asia. The capex data will have to be extremely variant to get the Aussie dollar sort of flowing on. Once again, the market will be looking for sort of an increase in tension in Syria that will create further US dollar strength. If there's no attacks or no and the talks sort of dissipate, well then you would expect the US dollar to give up the recent gains and you see all the currencies correct. So that's what we're sort of looking for. Keep an eye on your news stations and we'll give you further updates tomorrow. All right, have a good day.